Yeah, Dalgo is the meme killer. Cashing up with your thriller. House party lights all flashing. Pop a bottle, no relaxing. Flexing in the VIP. Bitches trying to feel in free. Thug life, we wildin' out. Nothing but that money cloud. Dalgo, we ballin' worldwide. Need money, we can't hide. Poppin' tags like it's FOMO in the streets, no time for lows. Drinking hand, it's a vibe. Haters watching, trying to snipe. We bring the heat, no denying. In the club, Dalgo flying. Got my crew, yeah, we deep. Stacking sats, no time for sleep. Bitches dancing, feel that fire. Dalgo fam, we taking it high. Dalgo, we ballin' worldwide. Need money, we can't hide. Poppin' tags like it's FOMO in the streets, no time for lows. Drinking hand, it's a vibe. Haters watching, trying to snipe. We bring the heat, no denying. In the club, Dalgo flying. Got my crew, yeah, we deep. Stacking sats, no time for sleep. Bitches dancing, feel that fire. Dalgo fam, we taking it high. Dalgo, we falling worldwide. Need money, we can't hide. Popping tags like it's FOMO in the streets, no time for lows. Drinking hand, it's a vibe. Haters watching, trying to snipe. We bring the heat, no denying. In the club, Dalgo's flying. Got my crew, yeah, we deep. Stacking sats, no time for sleep. Bitches dancing, feel that fire. Dalgo fam, we taking it higher. New York City, we own the night. The Dalgo fam, we ready to fight. Mean lords, we taking over. Flip the script, we got the clover. All these hookers wanna front, but we grinding, never stunt. Dalgo making big moves. In the game, we got the groove. So raise your glass, let's toast to the ones who do the most. The life we live in bold. Dalgo worldwide, watch it unfold. Dalgo, we falling worldwide. Need money, we can't hide. Popping tags like it's FOMO in the streets, no time for lows. So remember the name is clear. Dalgo's here, bring the cheer. Need money, house party high. We the kings, watch us fly. So remember the name is clear. Dalgo's here, bring the cheer. Need money, house party high. We the kings, watch us fly.
Good morning, everybody. Dalgo and PGOLD, one of my favorite comfiest holds. We've all done pretty well with that coin, I think, at this point. If you've been following me for a while, you're able to get a lot of fun. You're watching on the Smart Money Culture TV network. We're on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana, as well as streaming, of course, around the world as we do. And we are adding a lot more stations, I can tell you that. Big things in the works. That's going to be a lot of fun. Other big things we have going, of course, we've made the deal with 2-Bit Exchange. 2-Bit, T-O-O, 2-Bit Exchange, T-O-O-B-I-T. Let me add that right here. Here we go. There we go. 2-Bit Exchange open to U.S. customers. 2bit.com/impact money. Get 10% cash back on deposits. Is that hard to read? Let me just change that just a little bit. I'm going to take that WW3 stuff off. You guys can figure that out, right? Here we go. There we go. 2bit.com. Impact money. Get 10% cash back on deposits. And not only that, but there's $1,700 as well that you can get back on your trading fees. That's big money. It's big money, guys. It's big money. So wonderful exchange, and we are pumping it. We're pumping it because we can do a lot with that, guys. We can do a lot with it. A great exchange. I have direct communication with the CEO. You guys want to get your coins listed. You guys want to operate with these guys. They have great volume, lots of customers, and they're open to the U.S. Derivatives trading, all kinds of trading, whatever trading you want to do. You can go 50x, 100x sometimes, whatever you want to do. So it's good stuff. So make sure to sign up, and you can also set up your copy trader, and you can trade just what Matt and I trade. So right now, if you watch the show, we only 5% of people make money trading. Okay, 95% of people lose money trading. Obviously, we're in that 5%. I've been trading back and forth on the platform. I've done about 20 or 25 trades by now, and I'm at 100%. Now, I don't always win them, okay? Just like Matt doesn't always win them, but we win most of the time, and that's what's most important. So, a little bit different show this morning because, of course, if you've been watching us and you've been experiencing what's going on here, of course, Algorand has been absolutely pumping to infinity. And one of the big reasons, and I talked about this yesterday, that Algorand is pumping to infinity is because of Polka Gold and because of DALGO. DALGO and Polka Gold, they're the same people, right? Polka Gold, it's the original coin. I've talked about it a lot of times. They were started by some anonymous guys, which is always pretty slick. And they backed it with Algorand, and they stuck a bunch of Algorand in liquidity pools, and they locked it. And then they started a meme coin, DALGO. They then set up this game, and this and that and the other, and the game is tap, and it's making all these transactions. And personally, I think it's a big reason why Algorand is pumping so hard. And let's face it, they are pumping hard. That's a strong project, I'll tell you that. So DALGO, you just saw, of course, the theme song. And I have with me here Eric Majors, and as well Don Baruda, my two friends who I think got me involved. One of you guys got me involved. It's been a heck of a ride.
Guilty as charged.
Right? Don, my man. If what are we at? If you take away the zeros, whatever, we're at a 4 right now. At the lowest point of the dip, we were at like 1 something. I mean, we've almost 4x. We're definitely 3x from the bottom. So I think
DALGO is now around the all-time highs.
DALGO is like all-time highs. Well, every time you saw it hit the bottom, I was the big buy. I like seriously
gobbling it up, huh?
I haven't played one as well as I did DALGO. It's the only one that I've actually been the buy at the lowest point every time it dips. So I'm pretty proud of that, actually.
As you should be. I mean, how can I say it? It's kind of a sure thing locked to PGOLD. I mean,
well, yeah, you got it locked to PGOLD. So all right, we have a lot to talk about today. Let's start with just introducing yourself. Eric, let's start with you, and then Don.
So Eric, I'm working in IT basically, and do a lot of business development there. But for the last, let's say, 2 cycles, I've been heavily investing in crypto and researching it. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here, because one of the projects that I found and got really excited about is PGOLD and now DALGO, with all the developments there. So we can zoom in on that later on.
Awesome. Sir Don.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever everyone is. So I go by Don Baruda, and so my background is in healthcare, currently transitioning into the tech sector and telecommunications. Apart from that, I've been in crypto ever since around 2018, and haven't looked back.
I love how you guys have like your professional. Meanwhile, you're just buying coins and pumping them. I'm a guarantee.
Well, I mean, we have.
I spend 20 hours a day trading meme coins. No, I'm kidding. It's you guys are younger than me. It ends up taking over. Hold on. It ends up taking over your life a little bit more as your life.
That's definitely true. Yeah, it's more time consuming than I thought it would be in the end. But it's fun.
It ages a bit in a good way, I would say, depending on what you're in.
Yes, exactly. So, talk to me about what got you guys into PGOLD.
You want to kick it off, Eric?
Sure. Yeah, basically it's by coincidence because we're in this, let's say, a group of Market Mobster. He's let's say, a known member in the crypto space for a long period of time, just like you, Bruce. And he gives basically honest and rational advice on how the crypto market is evolving from his perspective. So not a lot of scammers that you see on YouTube and so on. He was heavily invested in the Polka dot ecosystem, and then there was this kind of bridge project, PGOLD, where they wanted to kind of to bridge the dot and the Algorand communities, and they selected the Algorand chain because it's the fastest, never is down, stuff like this, to create this project. With kind of a coincidence, I walked into it, and because I researched it pretty well, and I saw the stats of this crypto coin, which were amazing. Everything released at once, all kinds of liquidity locked forever. So you have a lot of security. Yeah, I kind of got sucked into it.
Exactly. How about you, Don?
Yeah, so similar story to Eric. Funny enough, when was it? It was mid-November, so around this time last year. I was just scrolling, Twitter, and I see Mobster tweet the ticker PGOLD, and I was like, "What is this thing?" So click on it. There was like nothing at that time, like no website, nothing. And I was like, you know what though, this thing kind of stands out to me, just because of the digital scarcity aspect, right? So clicked on it. Never had invested in Algorand before, right? And got on there via Vestige, because back then it was only like available on Vestige. I don't even know. I don't recall if it was even on Para, right?
So I think it was on Para. I think it was on Para Wallet as well. I think I bought it there first in the first days.
Yeah, well, I bought it back in Vestige, but I don't recall, just because it was so long ago. So I dabbled a little bit. Then I seen their website develop, and then the liquidity pools, right? And I was like, oh wow, this thing is like fully circulating. So like, a light bulb went off in my brain, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing really out there like this, So, and yeah, I mean, here we are.
That's awesome. Well, there's not many times in crypto. I mean, you look at all these meme coins, right? And they'll like pump to infinity, and they'll do, go this way and that way and all around. But it's very rare that you actually have something with locked liquidity. And if it is locked liquidity, a lot of times it's like USDT or something like this. It's just not as exciting. Like Algorand went from 8 cents or something since I've been involved to 22 or 23 cents or whatever it hit today. And that made things go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that.
I saw a funny tweet actually 2 days ago or something like that. Somebody showing the number of transactions on the Algorand blockchain. And if you look at that, then Algorand is number 6 in the world of the most used blockchain of all cryptocurrencies. And I think they're currently at something like 60th position. But in terms of like the usage by all the projects that work on it and the transactions done, it's crazy. There's so much potential.
You mean in coin market cap, it's rated at 60 for now?
Yeah. Yes, but if you look at the number of transactions made per chain, then it's like number 6 chain in the world.
Yeah.
So basically, the use case is much better than the actual value at this time. So you can still argue that it's very undervalued.
I don't think there's
room to run.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think if buy right now at 20 cents, I mean, it's like, are we going to go to $1 on Algorand? Yes. You know what I mean? Not financial advice, guys. Anything can happen. But that's 5x, folks. Okay, that's 5x. And then you look at PGOLD and DALGO, which are anchored. The PolkaGold is obviously anchored to Algorand. Do I think PolkaGold is probably going to outperform Algorand because of these liquidity pools? Yes. Do I think the DALGO is going to outperform it? Yes. So then when Algorand goes to $1, what is, put $10,000 on or split it, maybe put 5,000 on PGOLD, 5,000 on DALGO, and
yeah, because both the maximum supplies are out, right? So there's never going to be printed any new coins. So basically, because of the scarcity manners, it will squeeze the price, as you also have with trading, right?
It's gonna squeeze the price. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I just wanted to mention this with the transaction on Algorand, that it's just insanely used the blockchain and cheap.
So cheap.
So yeah, a lot of room to grow. The other thing that I found really fascinating actually is that I'm from Europe, right? I'm here based in Amsterdam, and there are European laws how crypto can be used in the European Union. It's quite strict. However, Algorand is one of the few chains that has stable coins which are matching these European laws. They already got verified by the Dutch National Bank. So basically, Algorand can be like the number one, if like DeFi ever becomes a thing again, at some point, and people like to do it, right? Because otherwise, it's just sitting there in your wallet.
Yeah.
You like to invest it, get a return on it. Then they're basically set up for that to do it in Europe because they're compliant with European crypto laws, and they're the only ones, basically.
Well, and let's talk about that. You know, the staking mechanism and the farming mechanism, I think, is one of the most attractive. I haven't done it myself yet. I'm an old timer, man. You know, I got to send it off to Cometa. Dude, that's it. I'm out. You know what I mean? I just like, what? Wait. No. But it's awesome, right?
Yeah. You should check it out on Tiny Man, Bruce.
Okay.
The farming and the staking. I would say
I don't have to send it somewhere.
No.
Keep it in your wallet, basically. If you have it in Para Wallet, for example, you can keep it there. Only the thing is that you will get LP tokens in return. So you, let's say, put 50% Algorand, 50% the PGOLD. Then you get LP tokens back.
Tiny Man LP or whatever it is.
Yeah, and then you get rewarded on it.
I think it's like 40% APR or 65. I forget.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's amazing APY. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to check that out then.
And I want to add that's for a non-inflationary asset. Like you're
right, and actually, DALGO is now deflationary.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Basically, because if you want to go that way, like the DALGO game, it's a tap app game. So basically, it's a little bit for degens because you can just get one tap for one price. You can roll the dice from 1 to 6, and then you can get between 1 and 6 taps. So you can spin the wheel, and you can get between 1 and 50, and you have to pay different prices for it, of course. But this game is super fun to play. It's really addictive. The last 3 days that it was live, it had 10,000 transactions. 10,000 in 3 days. That is like what blockchains do of like 50 to 100 million.
Well, that's
it had price pools of $5,000 per day, 24 hours, of a coin that is not even 400,000 maximum market cap, right? It's completely nuts. And then it almost burned like 0.8% in 3 days.
Which is almost total supply.
So wait,
it's nuts.
You guys almost
the total supply
burned 1% of the total supply in a day?
Yes, in 3 days.
In 3 days.
That's nuts, right? Like if you hold 1% of one certain token, you're considered a whale usually, right? And basically,
I tell people on these small cap coins, you just want to own at least 1%. Okay, that way if the thing moves, sell some of it.
You get rewarded, indeed. I agree with you, but it's crazy to think about it. Like basically, this is now projected to burn 1% in 1 week. Basically, that's what now the averages are.
Wow.
So every week that follows, if people keep on playing, and they make profits out of it, right? Because number 1 to let's say 10 get rewarded.
Right.
So even you can make good money just playing the game if you play it tactically and you invest some time into it. But mutually, they're burning 1% of the total supply in 1 week. Are you fucking kidding me? Then, if you wait a few months, then there's almost nothing left. The scarcity will be out of the park.
Well, I
will remind everybody that we're on TV, so we got to watch this. Yeah, that's good.
Well, not just that. What's interesting too with the game is to the lock liquidity. As you know, there was over 1 million. There was delegated over 1 million PGOLD, right, to launch DALGO.
It was more. It was even more.
Yeah.
So that's like, and guys, it was over 10% of the total supply of PGOLD.
Correct. Right. So it's like with this tap game that we have going on now, if you think about it, there's
also burning PGOLD.
Well, yeah. Well, you have to because
right.
But on top of that, what's more interesting for me personally is the Algorand transactions, because it all goes back to Algorand, right? So that also drives up Algorand transactions. Like if you look, Bruce, if you open up on allo.info, see if I can find it. If you look at the last just 7 days, the DALGO transactions, it's wild. Like forget about the charts. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I have it open here at the time. It's basically all-time transactions is around 29,000.
You can share the screen.
Or sure.
Just put present, and I'll add it to the screen.
There you go. So basically here you can see the transactions of the last 7 days. So basically the last 7 days had almost as much transactions for all time ever. But you can see it's really spiking because you see here's where the game started, 13th of November.
Yeah.
So it's like zooming up like crazy. And basically this is only possible also with Algorand because it's so cheap. Like if you had to pay fees in Ethereum or something like that, it wouldn't have worked this game.
Right. And guys, it's cheap. I mean, it's like, you know, it's Algorand's 20 cents and it's like a little fraction of an Algorand in order to do these transactions.
Well, it's not just that, it's, you know, instant finality. You know, it goes through at lightning speed, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing else can really handle this amount of volume just overall, not just in the DALGO tap game, just, you know, across the whole ecosystem.
So now, do you guys have any like screen recordings of the game in action?
Let's see.
Well, I can not screen recordings. I can show you how it looks again here. Can you see my screen, Bruce?
Yes.
I think I
make sure it's on. I'm on the Allo tab. So just use that tab, or say share this tab instead.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Now it's really working. Yeah, so basically how it works, here you can see it today. So today were 9,000 tabs, 300 million in prize pool, total rewards over the last 3 days played, 6.5 billion. So that is, think about it, there's only 100 billion in total supply, right? So the last 3 days, this was the amount what was played around. And we're here now at 700 million totally burned forever. And here you can see the options to play. So you can click this one to get 1 tab for 25,000 DALGO. You can click this one to get 1 to 6, and you can spin the wheel. And then you have 24 hours per day. And you can see that people, you know, earn to win also. So this number one spent this much DALGO to play and got this many tabs. And this will be his rewards paid out in 1 hour or so.
Nice.
So, and then you have a leaderboard up to 20. But you can see like this person only just tapped it once, but is still making quite some profit. So it's basically the people that are chasing each other for top prices that will might lose a little bit. But in the end, me as a holder, I don't care playing and losing a little bit because we're burning so much. So basically the scarcity is going down.
It's huge. It's yeah, I mean, I haven't seen somebody implement it so well like this. I have to say, you know, job well done to the team. I know
it's super easy to play also, you know, and it's kind of the fun thing is the leaderboard, right? You see what price you can get to become number one, how many tabs you need to earn, and how much you want to try to invest to get there. So it's really like, yeah, you're battling with your mates basically online to get the best rewards. And in the meantime, being valuable for the Algorand ecosystem, doing this many transactions, growing the blockchain, and burning, I think it's between 8 and 10% of the total reward pool per day. So it really, you know, knocks on.
Yeah, it's huge, man. I'm a major fan. Are you recording a screen recording there?
Huh?
Don? I thought you were recording a screen recording.
No. Whatchamacallit, I was trying to find, we actually have a video by our friend, by C. Will. He had a short video. I was trying to pull it up.
Okay, yeah. So, Eric, if you have that one, either one of you, if you have that one, just download it to your computer and then pull the file up on the tab that you're sharing, and it'll play in your local.
That's what I was trying to find. I got it here somewhere.
I think you can find it. But yeah, it's super interactive, easy to play.
So let's talk predictions. Don, where do you think this thing's going?
Which one?
PGOLD. Polka Gold, how high? We're at
Top
$1
of the
million right now.
Huh? Top
We're
of
at
the
$1 million
cycle.
mark. Huh?
I said top of the cycle, mid cycle. Where should we start?
This cycle.
But that's what I mean. All right. So this cycle, I mean, minimum, easy $100 million market cap for PGOLD. Easy.
You heard it here, guys. 100 million. That's
No.
100x from here, just so you guys know. 100x. Put 10,000 in, you got $1 million.
So this is my
But the-
personal
but the-
humble opinion, right?
But the crazy thing, if you think about it, because Algorand is now a 1 point something billion, right? Not even 2. If it would grow up to, let's say, the terms of like number 10 in the market, let's say Sui at this time, that's already a 10x, right? And then Algorand be around $2 or something.
Right.
And imagine all the pressure that would put to PGOLD on these liquidity pools to buy more PGOLD with that Algorand. It's crazy. And then even if you have more people that want to invest, you can pressure the price more, right? So yeah.
And the only reason why I say that, you know, this is on the low spectrum, by the way, $100 million market cap, and I'm only basing this off Algorand itself, right? And why do I say?
Also, I have to say as well, it's very smart and interesting that they started a meme coin. Not, you know what I mean? So already you have Algorand who's building tokens. They're building on Algorand, and then you have Polka Gold that says, okay, we're not building on us exactly, but you're building on our liquidity that we have locked, and now we're going to produce this meme coin. Go ahead.
Well, not just that. It's interesting because it is a meme coin, but it's actually the most liquid meme coin in all of the Algorand space, and also the first tap to earn. And so, what's been trending lately on crypto Twitter are memes with utilities specific in the gaming sector, right? So that's coming out of left field, like in recent days, I would say. So it's very interesting, you know, the foresight, I would say, regarding this coin, you know. And the same
All right,
thing. Go ahead.
How about DALGO? Where are we going? What kind of market cap on DALGO?
I hate to say this. A lot of people are not going to like what I got to say, but I could definitely see DALGO in the short term, market cap wise, outpacing PGOLD. I know a lot of people do not want to hear that.
This could be like $1 billion meme coin.
Easy.
Yeah.
Just based
And
off.
it's on the show every day. It's on that Impact Money show every day, almost.
Yeah,
But the crazy thing about like most meme coins, right? They don't have any other thing that usually don't even have a website and just shoot up because people get excited. But this one is actually deflationary. So, you know, every day your single coin gets devalued more because tokens are getting burned. And then afterwards you have a game where you have interactions with, and it has actually liquidity locked to PGOLD as a security. So it won't be rug pulled as easily. So if you compare that to any other meme coin out there, I don't know any comparison personally, or something that has these mathematics in it.
I hear you. Yeah, and the truth is, guys, if PGOLD goes to $1 billion, Polka Gold is going to be not 100 million. It'll be even more.
Yeah, if DALGO shoots to the roof, yeah, will happen. Yeah, but
yeah. Awesome.
But I think like everybody can be super happy, like if the 100 million thing is reached, right? It's 100x. Like who will complain there?
Nobody's complaining. Like I said, 10,000 is $1 million at 100x. You know, if we go to 100 million. So, well, pretty interesting, guys. I'm a big fan. We're going to continue to pump it. I wanted to have you guys on here. I think it's the second or third, or I don't know if we always had everybody on it, but time that we've done a segment on it. And I like to have guys when I talk to, you know, and I'm talking to the audience here, but when I talk to the audience, I like for you guys to have a good way in, and I like for you to have a good way out as well. And, you know, I've with this coin specifically, I've watched people sell 3% of the total supply in one go. I've watched them sell 1.5% or, you know, whatever in one go. And yes, it moves the price, but nothing like you would see. Let me tell you what right now, if someone sold a third of even like one of some of these large cap coins in one go, you would see massive, massive dips. And this liquidity structure that they have set up is a great setup. It's quite
it's unique. Like for example, like for most meme coins, even if they're like 100 million, if somebody would sell 3% in one go, it will go to 1%. It go 99% down. You can just analyze that yourself if you wanted to in several online forums to put in sell 3%. Look what happens.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Billions in the billions.
What was that?
Even the memes in the billions of dollars of market cap, same thing. If you look at the liquidity ratio, I mean, it's basically non-existent. Like I see a lot of coins all over the place. To Eric's point, $100 million market cap with $400,000 of liquidity. Like, you know,
but still the numbers now already for this tap app game are just nuts. Like if you think this, so they're playing for 3 days. Average price pool per 24 hours was $5,000. If you extrapolate that over a year, that's 1.8 million. But DALGO is not even a market cap at 400,000. But the price pools are already this high.
Well, right? And the other thing is even
the
thing that really got me too was there was more liquidity than market cap for the longest time. I don't know if it still is. This is the CoinGecko page. You can see here we're having a nice day.
Yeah.
Up 12%. What's that?
I said we're up.
Yes. Let's see here. What is it? Vestige?
Yeah. Oh no. Or if you can check it out on Vestige, but also on allo.info, either or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on a second here.
There we go.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show. Yeah. So here we are. Market cap's 400,000, and then if you look, so market cap's 400,000, and if you look right here, we have over $500,000, $550,000 in liquidity.
That's just an PGOLD, by the way. I know. That's just the PGOLD. But another thing, if you look back, that PGOLD that it's pegged to, tied to, is obviously back in Algorand, right?
Right.
So we're also talking about millions of Algorand that it's pegged to at the end of the day. DALGO itself.
Yes. Yeah. And here's PGOLD. The market is fluctuating right now. I keep looking over at my thing because I entered into a position. Well, I couldn't help myself. I've been watching Litecoin. Litecoin's been dipping, and I like to trade. When things go really high or they get really low. And
Bruce, you've been in crypto for a long time, right? But also in normal assets, I would assume.
Yes.
Have you ever encountered an asset? Because if I now calculate it through, it's 30% deflationary by the end of the year if it keeps on going like this. It's unheard of.
No,
right?
I mean this is in the class of its own for sure. And when Don reached out to me, probably I don't know how many times. I mean, it was at least 5 times. It might have been 10 times.
More.
I want you to look at this. He's like on the streams, PGOLD, this and that. I finally talked to the team, and they're like, well, we're going to launch this DALGO thing too. Why don't you talk about that as well? And I looked at DALGO. I thought, man, this is cool. And then I was one of the first ones too to buy DALGO. I would like drop my daughter off at school, and it was like 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. And I was like, bam.
Yeah, been there.
Of course, then it went up, and then it went down.
No.
Well, yeah,
if you average it in like if you kept on buying what you did, I guess, then you're well up at the moment at DALGO.
Yes.
Real quick, I'm gonna present. I got the video, by the way.
Perfect. That's what I want to see. You're the man.
All right.
So hit present, and then I'll add.
All right. Let's see.
Because what are other excited things that you're looking at, Bruce, in the market? Except for
Well,
trading.
right now, I really want to pump this 2-bit thing so that we can get all our coins listed. Like that's like, you know what I mean? I want DALGO on there. I want PGOLD on there. I want the other coins I'm working with on there. So that's like the big thing I'm working with right now. I am not as bullish on really another. I mean, I guess, you know, but we'll leave. This is our moment for PGOLD and DALGO. I'm involved in a couple other ones that are promising as well.
What's good, y'all?
I'm very bullish on this. I'm very bullish on DALGO and PGOLD. I think it's the way that you guys put this together is absolutely amazing.
Y'all see, we're here with the passive.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's all right. You want to start him at the beginning?
Whenever you guys are ready. Finally got it up.
Well, yeah, he's up. If you see him there.
Let's go.
Hey, what's good, y'all? See, Will here with the Passive Income Network. And on this video, I am about to do a demo for the DALGO Tap to Earn app. I'm about to show you how it works, play the game, and see if we can win some rewards right here.
This guy's great.
So let's get to it. I just signed in to the DALGO app. We're going to scroll down. Welcome to DALGO. Dive into the world of DALGO where fun meets finance and memes collide with blockchain. So today they had almost over 4,000 taps. Today's pool numbers, total rewards, and total earn. So what are taps? Taps are a simple way for users to engage with DALGO. By tapping, users can participate in the daily reward pool and accumulate crypto assets interactively. The top 10 tap leaders are guaranteed winners in each game cycle, which lasts 24 hours. One tap costs 25,000 DALGO. What do you get by rolling the dice? Roll the Dice offers fun way for users to boost their taps by paying for taps, 3.5 taps, which is 87,500 DALGO. Users roll a dice to gain between 1 and 6 taps, adding an exciting chance to increase their standing in a 24-hour leaderboard. Okay, well, got some DALGO in the wallet. Looks like I got some more time over here to play the game. So let's get it. Okay, let's get some rolling going. Tap here. Receive 6 taps. Okay.
That's the end of this segment.
Cool. That is great. It was great. So here's the long and short of it, because we got to get to Matt. Matt's going to do our market watch section here. I'm sure you guys want to know what's going on in the markets.
Sure.
Matt's going to give us the extensive report. You need to go to PGOLD, and I'll just change these now here. It's PGOLD.network, right?
No, .tech.
Yeah.
Tech.
And DALGO.tech.
Correct.
You need to go to Polka.tech and DALGO.tech and learn more about what these guys are doing. I'll tell you what, guys, listen, it's not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Most of us get paid to do this stuff, okay? But we're in it, okay? I am long on these assets. I am long on PGOLD and DALGO.tech because I think they're great. And I think that if you get them, you're going to be happy too. Could go to zero. I don't think so, okay? But it could go to zero. Don't bet anything that you couldn't lose. But, we talk these numbers, 100 million and a billion and stuff like that. Guys, if that happens, this is life-changing money.
For
You
sure.
put $2,000 on something like this, and it goes to $1 billion or $100 million. And, you're talking another floor on your house. You're talking a new house. You're talking even more. It doesn't matter, depends on what money you have. Well, guys, look, we're going to do it again. I really appreciate you guys coming on. I'm a big fan of both of you. I'm going to make it out there to California too soon to see you, Don. Are you in LA?
No, I'm in San Francisco.
I'm sorry. No, actually, I love San Francisco. I really do. California is funny these days, but I haven't been in a couple years because COVID and the business left. The business left. A lot of the business left.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. If we're going to talk about San Francisco itself, it's always been unfortunately like that when it comes to business, right?
Yeah.
So through these quirky cycles.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, you go south a little bit. I mean, everything's booming, as they say, right?
Well, it's booming. California is booming, and I'm going to come out there to see it anyway. San Francisco, I love San Francisco.
Hey, I can't wait. We definitely need to link up. Don't worry, I'm gonna take
guys. Listen, we're going to Hong Kong, Consensus Hong Kong. If you guys can get away, you should plan on coming. That's what you should plan on doing. Consensus Hong Kong, February 18 through 20. I think I made up a thing here. Let me just put that up here. Hong Kong.
Eric, we gotta check that out, man. Consensus.
You guys definitely come to Consensus Hong Kong.
It's definitely on the list of something to visit at some point. Yeah.
We're out. We're gonna let Matt take over. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys. It was nice speaking to you.
Good morning, Bruce. Morning, Impact Money viewers. So I've been looking at building basically a longer term portfolio. This isn't active trading. I'm just looking at assets with good, solid underlying value. I'm actually going to be building that and constructing that over the next few days. We did a lot of work with eBay, that's the eBay ratings platform, to identify the factors that affect the true underlying value of crypto assets. A lot of it is actually fundamental, but sometimes you can't get direct data. Some data you can get on chain. Some of it you just have to do research or find proxy data, which is basically data which points to the data that you want to find out. So I'll be working on that over the coming days. I don't know quite how long it's going to take me, but to construct what I think is the ideal portfolio for long-term capital growth. Now, we don't know where the market's going. I'm not talking about a trading portfolio here where we're going to get necessarily an immediate pump, but I'm talking about those assets which have real long-term value. For example, I'll just give you one example that I've actually been following this asset for a couple of years now. HBAR. So so this is basically it's a very interesting, innovative cryptocurrency. It doesn't rely on blockchain technology, but it actually does things that blockchain does quicker and faster. Obviously, it's got its token, the HBAR token. But interestingly, since the Trump win just 2 weeks ago now, it's only about 2 weeks and maybe 2 weeks and 1 day or something like that. But a couple of weeks ago, we've seen a 275% pump in the price of HBAR. So almost 3x in just 2 weeks on a really solid asset that does have good liquidity, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the sort of assets that we're going to be looking at focusing on. Things like HBAR, things like SUI. There are many others as well, Injective, for example, as well. So I'll be building what I believe is a solid portfolio of these assets. But just for now, whilst we're on HBAR, I'll just look at it. I was expecting a bit of a pullback. So you can see here, one of the measures that I often use is divergence, and I just draw the divergence on here. We're looking at a daily chart here, so we can look at the high on price there. And it's the closing high that we're looking at, not the spikes, the shadows, but just the solid candlestick bodies. So that's the trend of the price. And that's been, that's over quite a period of time now. That's looking back since April this year, so 6 months or so, something like that. So that's the price peaks, and then we look at corresponding RSI, and we can see, just have to align it absolutely perfectly to make sure we are covering the same time period precisely. So we can clearly see that there was a reduction in the price peaks and increase in the RSI peaks. That's basically telling you that price, we can see, obviously, it got exhausted. There's a massive pump, 275% increase, as I said, just in 2 weeks since the Trump win. So that's phenomenal. If you're on that, well done to you. But what we did have a warning of here, once we saw the divergence in place, and then we saw a candle to the downside, we got a clear sign of a reversal. So pretty much on point, we got a sign of a reversal there. So hopefully a short-term reversal. We'll just have to see how things go. But it just gave you an indication where to sell. This was clearly a corrective move to the downside. We can see very choppy overlapping, nothing like these what seem to be impulsive, powerful moves, which traverse a lot of price territory in a very short period of time without overlaps. This actually is very, very choppy, this downward movement here, traversing a lot of time with less price movement over a long period of time. So that's corrective to the downside. That seems to be impulsive to the upside. But we've got a signal telling us with this divergence, this is the time. If you've been in this long trade here, this is the time to probably close it, or at least protect your position, because there's likely downside movement. Now, obviously, it could be a short-term divergence and it could reverse again higher, but bear in mind, we've come from very high overbought conditions on the RSI here. Extremely high overbought, longest we've seen in a the highest we've seen in a long time. So it made sense to take profits there. Even if it goes higher, it's always good to take some profits, never just hang on to positions for the sake of it, unless it's money that you really just want to forget about for a long term. Like some people might have been holding Bitcoin from the early days, and even if we get a pullback, they don't care because they believe in Bitcoin technology. They believe in the limited supply. They believe it's digital gold, etc., etc. So they want to just continue to hold it despite the ups and downs. But in general, we're talking on this show a lot about trading opportunities, about the ups and downs of the market, the macroeconomic issues and geopolitical issues that affect those markets. But also, we do want to cater to those people who understand and recognize and believe in cryptocurrency technology and want to align themselves and basically collect a good portfolio of assets that have real potential moving forward. And that's what, as I say, I'll be working on over the coming days, maybe a week or so. We'll see. So I'll just flip through the assets fairly quickly. We may get a bit of an uptick on the pound. We've actually seen inflation picking up again in the UK, which is a problem for them because growth is slowing and inflation is picking up. And this is what the US have been trying to avoid. So we'll talk again in a few moments about the US interest rates, where they're likely to be going, what discussions have been so far. But at the moment, the UK is in a bit of a problem, a bit of a dilemma, because they've basically got, as I say, they're struggling with growth and yet they've got high inflation. So can they drop interest rates with high inflation? Probably not. So that means they can't stimulate the economy particularly. And bear in mind, the Labour government, the new Labour government, are increasing taxes massively. So this will mean there's less money for people to spend. And so the economy will be more under pressure to slow down. And yet they've got inflation picking up way above target now. I think it's actually running at 2.5% now, where the target's 2%. And it's actually on an upward trajectory, which is a really not a good sign. So that's why longer term, the UK economy doesn't look healthy. And I think we've probably seen a top in the pound against the dollar. That was signaled once again with this. We can see here, if I move this and put it correctly on there, that was signaled correctly by this regular bearish divergence here, right on the dot, right on the 50% fib measurement as well, telling you exactly where the price is likely to turn down. And it's done it with some passion, to be honest. It's moved down really sharply. So Bitcoin has actually been reaching and touching for new all-time highs again. We're actually just virtually on that all-time high again. So I think we've got to be a little bit cautious. I do believe in the future of Bitcoin. I think it's got tremendous potential and it can continue to go up and up and up. Okay, I think we just switched away from, let me just check. Sorry, I need to go back onto my candlesticks there. That's better. So looking at Bitcoin, as I say, sorry, we're on BNB there. Bitcoin, again, the all-time highs that we're at. I do think that we potentially could be running out of steam short term, but I do think long term, the potential is absolutely tremendous. So we potentially see this as this is some kind of corrective move down here. Again, we can see it's overlapping the price, actually not going far over quite a span of time there. Very corrective, consolidated move, ready for the next push higher, which is exactly what happened. And it's pushed us to new all-time highs again. mean, right now 93,400. I'm sure it's likely to tag 100K very soon. And with the sort of adoption that's going on now, Bitcoin really has the potential to really reach the sky. I mean, we really could at some point in the future. I'm not saying how close, but we could see $1 million Bitcoin. It's possible because there's only 21 million Bitcoins ever available. There's not that many in existence right now anyway. So, and the demand for them, the price just has to go up. But we're going to get corrections along the way. It always happens. Markets never move directly in a straight line. So we're seeing a bit of a pullback. We've seen a bit of a pullback last couple of days. So again, we can see XRP here. Again, I'm not quite clear about where XRP is going to be going. I mean, we've had a correction up and a correction down and a strong push higher. That's sort of demonstrates to me that this could be some kind of larger corrective move, some kind of perhaps 3-3-5 move to the upside, and then maybe downside to come. So I'm not convinced that we're going to continue to push higher on all these markets. We may get one more push higher. I'm seeing that, and when we flip over to Solana, I think we'll see there's potential for higher, but we could have already reached there. And again, I'll look at another asset to demonstrate that. But we can see again this corrective movement we had, and then we got a strong impulse high. This could easily be a C wave higher, so it could have been A, B, and a C wave higher, and then you push down. At the moment, this latest daily candle is actually looking quite bullish, though. This candle here is a bullish hammer candlestick, basically telling us potentially higher to go. But we can't determine that just yet. You actually need to wait to the end of the day to look at the candlestick then. You look at candlesticks intraday or intra the candle, then you may have problems because it very often changes before the end of the day. So who knows what might happen? We've unfortunately got Russia, Ukraine problems again. I mean, America decided to allow Ukraine to use American long-range missiles into Russia, and Russia have now sort of said they may use nuclear weapons as a response to that. So they probably won't, but it's a worry. There's a lot going on that we don't have control of, and of course, even in the Middle East, there's still a lot of tension there waiting to boil over. So there are tensions everywhere. Even I do hear again the Korean troops are now into working with Russia against Ukraine. So there's a lot of tensions going on. It's a very worrying situation. The markets are just climbing that wall of worry right now and ignoring it. So right now things are continuing to look reasonably solid. So here's I've got Solana here. You can see it's a bit of a mess up there because I've got all that labeling on, but I put that on for a reason. First of all, we'll just move out to the weekly and just show you what I'm looking at on the weekly here. So we can see on the weekly, and this is looking very long term, and I don't really trade weekly charts, but it's just to show a potential turning point on a long-term chart. So again, we've got very clear regular bearish divergence here with higher highs in price and lower highs in corresponding RSI. So that's that one there on the weekly. Each of these candles is a duration of 1 week. So you can see the divergence there, and that would tell us that it's likely that the price is basically a little bit overshot for the time being because it's not being followed by volume. The volume has actually decreased while the price has increased. So that's telling you that maybe it's sort of overcooked a little bit short term, but this isn't short term really. I'm looking at this is the weekly. So let's look at the shorter term. So I'll move next to daily, and you begin to see I've got other divergences on. So this is the long-term divergence on the weekly. That's this long red line here. But as we move down the time frames, you start to see more divergences in place that are potentially telling us that maybe a top is in place or very close to in place. So what I'll do now, I'll move again down another time frame to the 4 hours to try to see where we're at there. And now again, we've got the very long-term divergence here. That's the weekly. We've got the daily and the 4-hour divergence here, which again is showing us regular bearish divergence. So increase in price peaks, decrease in RSI peaks. And again, if you check that out, you'll see it's on the daily, it works out. But then even if we move down even further, to the 1 hour, again, we can see all those longer term divergences, but on the 1 hour, even on the 1 hour, we can actually see a divergence here, basically where we got high highs in price, low highs in RSI again. So we've got divergence over weekly, daily, and hourly, or weekly, daily, 4 hour, and hourly. So lots of bearish divergence in place there. And they were signaling that we're about to get a downturn in price. That's precisely what we have seen, but it's not decisive as yet. And the reason I say it's not decisive, let's look at the wave count in there. And it's good that we're on the 1 hour. We can probably see it more clearly. So from that peak that we recently had, 248 a day or two ago, 248.60 or something, that's on Solana, we had a very clear A, B, and C down. Now, it's not 5 waves. There's no way you can count 5 there. It's a 3-wave move down. And interestingly, you measure this A wave, and it's almost equal to the C wave. That's a really nice relationship for an ABC. And then on the upside, we got another ABC to the upside. And again, it wasn't 5 waves. It can't be 5. That can't be wave 1 because it overlaps. So it's an ABC. Once again, the C wave pretty much equaled the A wave when you measured it on the fib basis. And interestingly as well, I measured the move down from here to here, transposed the top of this one. It gave us the end of this 3rd wave here. So from this 3 down, 3 up, we then potentially have 5 waves down. So that's 1 to there, 2 to there, 3 to there, 4 to there. Now, the reason we can count it as 4 there is because it doesn't overlap this first wave. And so basically, we can be confident that this is some kind of 5-wave move to the downside, telling us that this is overall a 3-3-5-wave move to the downside. That's corrective. So most likely highs to come still on Solana. So there's high correlation between lots of these assets. So we can be reasonably confident that we've still got some highs to come before we get any major sell-off in the market. So despite all the worries that there are with the geopolitical, macroeconomic, etc., this is telling us that most likely, and there's never 100% certainty, but most likely we're going to see more upside to come to take us to new highs above 248 on Solana. But just going back to the longer term again, I'll just go back to the daily here to try to show you on the long term. There we are, we should be able to see it. Yeah, that was the previous all-time high on Solana, 267 or somewhere around about there. So maybe, and again, I'm not saying this for definite, but maybe we've had some kind of A, B, and this could be a C wave high to finish around the previous all-time high, and then we get a push down. Certainly the previous all-time high should present a lot of resistance, overhead resistance. So if we do reach up there, that would be a potential target. As I say, I am kind of expecting some more upward movement on Solana, but I think it's limited probably by that overhead there, at least for the short term. It could even be that we have a 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, then 3 to go, which would take us to the moon on Solana. So there's no certainty. The waves can be counted in different ways, but I'm just saying we look at the commonalities between them, and the commonality here would be that we're likely to reach, probably reach this overhead resistance, and that will be a resistance that will at least turn the price back, at least for the short term. We should get a decent correction from there, or maybe closer by. So we're somewhere near approaching corrected territory, I believe, for Solana, but still a bit higher to go. So I won't be able to touch on all the assets because we clearly don't have time, but we have seen a bit of a move up in oil. $69, we were down quite a bit lower than that the other day. And I think that's off the back of what's happened with the missile strike in Russia using long-range US missiles. Russia see this as a line in the sand that has been crossed now, and that's why they've said that this could escalate into a nuclear confrontation. I mean, as I say, we clearly hope not. But that's why I think we've seen oil rising quite a bit, in percentage terms, maybe 4% in the last couple of days. So a bit of a move up there. We have again seen on SPX, we had that regular bearish divergence. We saw a move down. I suspect we may not have completed that move down as yet, but I think longer term there's still higher to go on the SPX, the S&P 500. And again, interestingly, on the DXY, the dollar index, we did see a solid move higher, which took us above a previous high there. So yeah, it's difficult to say precisely what the wave count is. I can't tell you for certain what's going to be happening here, but we've got a strong push up today with the DXY, the dollar index, telling us that the strength in the dollar. The US economy is still reasonably strong, but there is talk now, and I said I'd move on to this. There's a bit of talk now about the Fed potentially pausing interest rate cuts. Now, they are in an interest rate cutting cycle, and they want to normalize interest rates. They're saying that they're actually restrictive at the moment. So Fed Chair Powell is saying that rates are still restrictive. And so in this cutting cycle, they would probably continue to cut. So there's still a majority chance that they're going to cut interest rates yet again in December. But there's more and more talk and noise afoot in the market saying that there's more pressure not to cut interest rates because inflation is still elevated in the US. And so they're saying that probably it might be a mistake to cut interest rates, which would stoke inflation even more and cause a lot of problems. So now there's becoming a bit of debate. It's becoming a bit of a two-way discussion now over interest rates. And that's a lot more interesting for markets because markets no longer have clarity or certainty. So there's going to be a bit more volatility, I think, in the markets moving forward. So just moving down, Ton, one of our favorites, has done really well of late, had a good pump. But again, it all appears to be very corrective. We may still have further push downside to go within what appears to be pretty corrective. I mean, I'm just looking now. We did have overlap with this move up here and this move down here. So that's telling me it's probably not a five-way move to the upside. It's close, but it's not. So if we looked on a shorter time frame, you'd see it's clearly not. So this isn't 5 waves higher, so it's probably corrective higher. So I think we do, even if we push a bit higher still, we still have more downside to come below this local low here at 4.57. So I think, although we may have a bit higher to push, and again, we've got a bullish hammer candlestick. I probably need to just open it out so you can see that. It's a small hammer candlestick, but you can see it here with the long tail below, a bit of a body up there, solid body at the top in green. It's a nice bullish hammer candlestick at the moment. But again, as I said, you need to wait to the end of the day to wait for that candle finish before you can actually interpret the candlestick, what it's telling you. Here's one of my favorite tokens, SUI. Just look at it. It's been absolutely amazing. It's overshot my target. So my target was there. It's actually overshot it, but you can see it's been pretty tremendous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the fifth wave looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be 3, 4. We may even have a bit higher to go with SUI. So the fifth wave may still have higher to go up here. But I'm just saying, if it's a fifth wave, we're getting close to the end of these moves, by the way. If we get into the end of the fifth wave, we should at least get a 3-wave pullback. That's the same with most of the assets. SUI has been one of the better ones. And again, I'll be talking a lot more about SUI when I talk about my favorite portfolio list and going into a little bit of why it's such a special token in my eyes. We're still seeing dollar yen pushing up. We may even see a little bit higher, but as I say, like I said, we're getting close to the end of a fifth wave on crypto assets here on dollar yen as well. Once you get that, you should get a 3-wave pullback. That's basically sell-off of the carry trade, which would equate to sell-off in risk assets like cryptocurrencies. So there's a bit of a warning sign coming. Gold, again, it's just pretty amazing. We called this well in advance, saying that we expected 5 waves down, 3 waves up, which I think is still underway. And then we'll get another 5 waves down, most probably, before we then push higher again in gold. So I think we've been absolutely nailed it with gold, to be honest. Again, we got some regular bearish divergence from the top, told us to sell. We got 5 waves down, told us to buy, moving up in a B wave. So it's just going absolutely according to our script. You can see there's lots more assets here that I can talk about. FXI, we talked about in a previous show. We said there's going to be a pullback. We actually said there's regular bearish divergence. Here's the line, and it's sold off quite sharply since then. Big sell-off, talking about 18% sell-off, something like that. And that was FXI. That's basically the China stocks. So again, we nailed it, to be fair. So talking about nailing it, I know Bruce is talking, he's been talking to me about a platform that he's using. I think it's called 2bit. I'm going to be looking a lot more into 2bit. It does look quite interesting. I think it allows American users, and it looks to be pretty cool, facility for trading assets on leverage if you want to. But there's also a copy trade facility. So we'll probably set up a couple of copy trade accounts as sort of long-term, one of our favorite assets, and maybe a trading one as well. And we'll probably do that and share it with the community just so you can experience this and maybe not have to worry about it so much yourself if it's just copy trading. But it will give you a bit of an interest and potential for a tremendous opportunity really within crypto, which is a real opportunity. So ICP, I won't touch on it too much. It's, again, looking as though we've had some kind of, it all looks corrective. All this is overlapping. You can just see everything's overlapping. So I do think probably we'll get some more downside reasonably soon. Even if we get short-term upside, I think there's more downside still to come. Injective, we'll talk about more on another show. It's been an amazing, I do think it's an amazing asset. Basically an AI asset, artificial intelligence asset. There's Doge. Again, Doge has been performing quite well, especially since obviously Trump and Elon Musk with the Department of Government Efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, all the assets are looking reasonably robust at the moment. I think we probably still have a bit, if we use Solana as the guide, and we can see again this hammer candlestick, if it finishes off as a hammer, I think we're actually in the final phase of basically from this triangle. If that's a wave 1, that's a wave 2, that's a wave 3, that's a wave 4, probably a triangle wave 4, then I think we're working on a final 5th wave. And even within the 5th wave, we've already got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, working on a small wave 4 and a final 5th wave to the upside. I think that'll be the final. And bear in mind, this move out of the triangle is probably the terminal wave in this cycle. We would then expect some substantial downside. So, as I say, short term, I think there's probably another push higher to go, but longer term, we've got to be very cautious on these markets. So trade safe, make sure you take your risk and reward carefully into account. Nobody knows the future, but if you manage your risk reward properly, then you can trade for profit. So thanks so much for listening today. Thanks, Bruce, for having me, and look forward to catching up tomorrow. Bye for now.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.